kind of plays into what I was going to say. Like, we knew how to rock a room from a nightclub perspective, right? But I think we still had to learn, one thing, programming, because programming for a nightclub versus programming for a wedding or event is super, like, different. What up, world? Welcome back to the event shakeup. It's your man, DJ Jem, and I got my man, Sye Young, right here, man. We are the DJ firm, one of Chicago's top entertainment service providers right here in the Midwest. This podcast is going to just spark your creative genius, man, and give you some of the best tips on how to plan your event from an entertainment perspective, of course. So, whether you're a bride-to-be, a corporate event organizer, a wedding planner, or simply somebody that just want to have fun and throw parties, this podcast is definitely going to be for you. So, and the DJ firm definitely got your back, giving you the keys, man, to unlocking event success.
What kind of keys we giving out?
Man, we got Rolls Royce keys, bro.
Lamborghinis. I would want a Mercedes box truck key.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about a Ford Transit?
We got one of those.
We got one of those keys, man. It's called TDF Mobile. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, man, hey, don't forget to subscribe to the Events Shakeup on all your favorite podcast platforms, including YouTube. We coming to YouTube. Please like, subscribe. So, hey, Sye, how you feeling today, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I woke up today alone, but I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah?
Feeling good, brother. Came here to the office. We had a lot of meetings today, so it's been a good day. It's been a really good and productive day, man.
It's been really good, man. We met with like 2 of our DJs today, man. It was really good to just get in tune with them and kind of figure out what, they like to do, what they like about the DJ firm. So, that's been super, super helpful, man.
That's how I know you got a lot going on, bro. We met with 3 DJs
We met
today.
with 3?
Yes.
Man. I do
Theoretically
got a lot going
4.
on.
The Swiss kids came in for a little bit, but that's
right.
it.
Well, anyway, man, what's today's topics about, man? First, we're going to dive a little bit deeper. I know last show we did talk a little bit about our backgrounds, but we definitely want to go a little bit more. So, Sye, are you ready to shed a little bit more insight on who Sye Young is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're continuing that whole episode, like those topics, because I felt like we theoretically need about a good 10 episodes to tell our story, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, probably more than that, man. We've been around for like super, super long time. So, not that we want to show our age or something, but that's just that experience, you know what I mean? So, we got a lot of stories for sure. So, we're going to do that. And then we're going to get into some of those storytelling, man. We got a lot of events that we've been a part of, so we want to share some stories with y'all just to give you some little bit of insight on things that we think is cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, and what does that all mean, bro? It literally means that we have a lot of jewels and gems to give out. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, every event we do, we learn something else. We take away a lot from it. So I'm excited, man. Like, I feel like this is like the book of the DJ firm or the TDF life. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, because we can't write, so we got to give our book into the podcast.
Yeah. At the end of the book, you'll say, "Excuse my typo."
Man, your typo.
Yo,
I'll be grammar. I'll be trying to Grammarly that whole thing.
Yo, mine would say, "Excuse my typo, excuse my grammar, excuse my everything."
But man, so like Sye said, that's our actually third topic we're gonna talk about. We're gonna just give away some jewels for our listeners. Give some tips on how they can just plan a super dope event. Obviously, this is the event shakeup. We're gonna be giving you guys tips just all day long. And then after that, Sye, we got that new, that brand spanking new. It's gonna be the shakeup of the week, boy. What's that about?
Man, you just gotta stay tuned and see.
Yeah.
And hey, man, don't forget to tell them to subscribe, follow us on all.
I did that already.
You did that already, but we got to keep doing that throughout the show.
You're right, because it's gonna be on YouTube. It's going to be on all the podcast platforms. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. Follow us today, right now, next. As a matter of fact, go ahead and tap that screen right now. That's right, man. So let's get on with it, man. We done doing a little intro. So first thing first, let's kick it off, man. We're gonna peel back the curtain a little bit, do a little more of that deep dive on Sye Young.
No, pause, bro. Deep dive on Sye Young?
Yeah,
brother. No money. No.
So we're gonna do a little bit deep dive. We're gonna find out a little bit more about Sye Young and Jem.
Yeah.
So what's the first question, man? You asked me, man. I feel like the last show.
You know what?
I feel like the last show I was just like over here trying to interview you. What
you trying
we
to spin
about?
me right now
Yeah.
because like that's not how the show is supposed to go. You ask the question, I answer, and I throw it back to you. You know what I'm saying? Bing, bing.
I was trying to give you a little challenge though. That's actually what I think we should talk about. Let's talk about challenges, man. So what were some challenges that you faced early in your career, and how did you overcome some of those challenges? Let's talk about some of that.
Right there, bro.
There we go, man.
You knew I wasn't expecting that. So the challenges, I like that, man. Some of the challenges that we
Don't cover your mouth.
Some of the challenges that we experienced when we first started out, I think the biggest one was just being brand new, just not understanding. You know, we understood everything that we did in the nightlife scene, and we knew that we wanted to bring some of those experience and some of those way we did things on the nightlife scenes to music, to weddings, meaning the big part of how we DJ'd and how we played music. But that one aspect of the event industry just couldn't really tie together a whole event. You know what I'm saying? So we had to understand who to talk to, who to meet. You know what I'm saying? What venues to go sit in front of. So what we did was we took the whole promotional approach, thanks to you, I don't know if you remember that, and we started going around buying donuts for planners and like venue general managers or venue hosts or venue planners, and we went around to them and spoke to all of them and let them know that, yo, the DJ firm is here and we're here to shake things up and do things different by bringing you stands, donuts. We brought a few Dunkin' Donuts to some people too.
Man, I don't even know why we would have did that.
Yeah, but hey, they appreciated the fact that we brought donuts.
Yeah, man.
Donuts can go a long way, bro. Just the gesture of bringing somebody something can go a long way. Because like, these guys from the DJ firm brought us some coffee and donuts when they set up a meeting with us. Just the fact that we brought that, one, it's an icebreaker because it's a conversational piece. Oh, because I forgot the donut shop that you usually go to.
Do Right.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't know about Do Right, and your thing was telling them about Do Right.
Yeah, man. I thought that was dope. And actually kind of what you're kind of touching on kind of plays into what I was going to say, like, as far as, challenges. Because my thing is, obviously, we came from the club, right? So just going into coming from a club to an event where it could be like a wedding or a corporate event, to me, that was like a challenge starting off because obviously we knew how to rock a room from a nightclub perspective, right? But I think we still had to learn, one thing, programming, because programming for a nightclub versus programming for a wedding or event is super like different.
But I think that helped us with a head start, though.
No, I think that it helped us, but
because think about it like guys who were just like in their basement practicing and like, yo, I want to do weddings. Because like, I think being in the nightlife industry and following the way we did things, like we catered to people if they came up and requested a song, right? If somebody is like, yo, can you get me into underground or some club, like we really catered to them by getting them in, like, hey, make sure it's such and such get in out there, a good friend of ours, make sure you take care of them. I thought that was the approach that you really took with that, bro. Again, I have to give you your kudos, bro, because like the whole thing with donuts and the whole thing, we got to set up, the challenges and how we adapted to it was you made flyers. Like you knew how to make flyers, but you turned the flyers. Theoretically, we were making pamphlets, but you were making flyer style stuff to show like, hey, this is what we did.
Yeah, you gotta talk into the microphone.
My bad, man.
But man,
is that what Jax was trying to tell us?
I hear what you were saying for sure. But I think where I was coming from more too is the challenge of, being able to read a crowd. Obviously, I think still is different. Hey man, like one of the biggest anxieties I still have is like, yo, when you're at a wedding or an event, and people aren't dancing, like that's kind of one of the, but that was different because like in a nightclub, you would always have people like in the vibe. But at a wedding, it just takes a little bit more energy. It takes a little bit more insight. It takes a little bit of more of everything, focusing on what's hit, what's hot, what's hitting to, really get people moving. So like, that's one of the challenges. And honestly, man, I think we overcame that quickly, obviously, because we were very experienced DJs, you know, with a lot under our belt. But then just gaining that experience just made us that much, better and helped that to come out more. So,
I mean, I want to speak on, if I can please touch on that, Mr. Producer. I feel like the fact that when, because I had an opportunity to open up nightlife, you know what I'm saying, being an opening DJ before I was like the closing DJ. So like to like touch on that point of like, like it was always a challenge for me to get people dancing, you know what I'm saying? So like I personally love those challenges. If people walk off or they're not having a good time, it makes me open up more and think more like, yo, I need to dive in to say like, let's go deeper in how we can get these people out here dancing.
Yeah, but I mean, what about personal growth, man? Do you have an event that, impacts your personal growth that you can remember?
Yeah. I think one of my, there's a few events to be exact, but one of them that really stand out is the Candy Cane Ball. Just coming from like the club industry, like we just did events for parties for people to have pure enjoyment of just dancing. But that was kind of like my first event where I see that people are doing stuff for people in need. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And from the moment I saw that, I wanted to like do more of those events and like kind of give back, where whatever the DJ firm can give back with, or like do we do it at a discounted price, or just however we can give back to those kids that was receiving like toys for Christmas and stuff like that.
Okay. No, that's dope, man. I mean, just doing things for charity and, being able to use your talents is definitely, a dope thing. And just being able to, because I definitely remember those parties. Those kind of like some of my funnest parties, because we used to do like 4 turntables and like all those things. I remember my parents coming to that, like, and that was like a super big moment for me. Mm-hmm. Like, because up until that point, my dad knew I was a DJ professionally, but he's never actually really seen me like in the act of DJing. So, for me too, I don't know if I really have a memorable event that I can recall, but more of a time. And actually, yeah, it's an event. Like during the pandemic, remember JVM?
Yeah.
When we did the award show. Yeah. And obviously this was completely virtual. We hosted it, we shot, we edited it, and it just was like very impactful for me because it was able to show me and the DJ firm and you that we were able to like really stretch and expand like our capabilities of what we can do to like, serve our clients. Professionally, it definitely made me a better, I think, MC, a better event host. Because like, man, we literally had to host a show on Zoom. Like, you know what I mean? Where I had like scripts, I had things that I had to say like on cue, and like all this stuff was done live. So
remember we actually threw a New Year's Eve party on Zoom through New Year's.
Yeah, nah. And
we figured out the whole green screen thing and make it look like we were walking down the city of Chicago during COVID.
Yeah, man.
That shit was fun. My dad hit me up and was like, yo, son, how did you get back to the office so fast?
No, I remember. And then I remember that because talking to him, I was like, yo, he's not in the office. Somebody else said that to me.
What?
It's funny that like some people don't know what it
Green screen
never
is.
seen a green screen before pandemic. Like, yo, what is that?
My dad was like, "How did you get back to the office so far? You live in? Are you guys shooting from downtown?" I'm like, "Nah, Dad. Like, it's a green screen." Because we were at Buckingham Fountain. We're on some highway. It was funny.
Yeah.
Good times.
What about breaking into the industry? Like, if somebody came up to you today, like right now, like, yo, I want to get into the industry, like, what would you tell them to do?
Man, the biggest thing I would tell them to do is make connections, right? One thing that we did, and I'm gonna just go over some things that we did. One, we found a mentor or two. It was Amy Zeroff, and you know, you got to look in within your own Rolodex of people that you do know, right? We found Joel. Joel helped us out with processes. Got to have processes. After Joel helped us out with like processes and stuff like that, we wrote them out, and you know, for a very long time, you fought with me on following the process. And even until this day, I understand how important it is to have processes. So having processes, going out to venues, meeting the people who are, you know, in charge of renting out the venue, and finding planners, man. Finding planners. Planners are the key.
Mm-hmm.
Bring them donuts. Bring them gift cards. Bring them notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout them out on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, because the industry,
they
that's what
stick
it
together.
is.
They
stick. Yeah,
The industry people stick together.
and it's a very small industry.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes, I mean, we talking about like if we're talking about planners, you know, 1,000. I mean, in Chicago, 2,000. Like at the end of in the big, you know, scheme of things, that's a very small like pocket of like people. Same thing. I agree with you. I mean, for me, I was thinking about this question, like if you were coming, even saying like if you were a club DJ or any type of DJ that wanted to get into the industry or entertainment, whatever. I think people need to learn very quickly about like events is that it's not about you. Like it's all about delivering like what somebody else wants. It's all about delivering what their vision is. And I think that's what a lot of club DJs have a lot of an issue with or a problem adapting to that. Because that's just a big thing to adapt to say, hey, I want to deliver this certain type of music or the client wants it like this, so I need to do it like that in order to, you know, get them to in the space where, you know, they're super, super happy. So, and then I did have marked down like, yo, processes, develop those processes as much as you can, just like you said. So I totally agree with you.
Eric would be like, Sye, is that a part of the process? Are we following the processes right now? Ladies and gentlemen, please, when you write down a process, you have to follow it because shit gets lost in the middle of it, bro.
Yeah, or at least prove it out.
Yeah, and when it gets lost in the middle of it, you can't get back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And until this day, I try to do things my own way, but we always get back to he smiles at you, and that's not a part of the process.
Man, that's dope, bro. I'm glad that you hear me.
I've been,
bro. As our video producer Noah would say, heard. All right, man. So we're gonna switch gears, man. We're gonna let's tell some stories now. All right, we want to hear some stories. Let's tell the listeners some stories. So first, I want to know a story about just a time where your creativity was pushed to the limit, like, and how did you rise to the occasion? Like, tell me something about that.
Man, I gotta definitely. There's been many a times, but I gotta say, I gotta give myself a pat on the back for the win this weekend. A pat on the back for the win this weekend, bro.
Okay.
So as you know, we did our TDF event at the W City Center.
Yep.
And when we did that, we had Coat Sparklers. We had all sorts of like fun add-on stuff that we did. We
didn't have Coat Sparklers.
We had geysers though.
Yeah.
But We've done
I don't want to get in trouble. We didn't have cold sparklers there.
But we have done events there where we had a bunch of add-ons, right?
Okay.
So moral of the story is I know we've done certain things there before.
Okay.
But as a company, and if you're a DJ out there, before you go into a venue, I encourage you to call and make sure certain things that you do have, or if you have any add-ons, make sure it's okay with the venue. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get there and they can scrap and like, no, we don't do that. So, and then if you do that, like the bride and the groom, because they were expecting that and that's something that they're excited about, they're going to be upset. So this whole week, as we go through our preparation on Tuesdays, we're like, yes, we're going to do the CO2 gun at the City Center, Chicago, W City Center. But when our production team called and said, hey, this is what we're bringing in, this is the time we're going to get there, you know what I'm saying? The City Center was like, whoa, we can't do that. And our rebuttal was, well, we've done it there before. Anyways, come to find out, they got new carpets. They painted, they've done a lot of new things to their venue space. And that's why it's important to call and figure out what's going on. They said we cannot have our CO2 gun in there because they're not sure if it's going to set out the fire alarm. Okay. And our bride and groom, the one thing that they were looking forward to was shooting off the CO2 gun. Okay. So we started freaking out like, yo, what are we going to do?
I'm sure you had a solution.
Man, you know, I was thinking in my head, like, what are we going to do? Because, you know, now they're going to be like, well, we want this back and we want it. I was like, you know what? I listened to your planning meeting. As I recall, I heard that you guys are having your after party at Joy District. I told our clients, let me make a phone call. And what I can do for you is I can bring the CO2 gun to your after party and we can go crazy with it. Yeah. And to put the icing on the top and the whipped cream with the cherry, I was like, yo, I'll even take over the DJ booth for 30 minutes, bro.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
Loved it, bro. Oh. I went to the DJ and was like, yo, homie, my name is DJ Sye Young. I'm the owner of the DJ firm. I'm going to need you to move over for 30 minutes. And they were cool.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, went out the way to, you know, make them happy, bro. You don't understand how, like, even though this was a big gesture, you don't understand, like, a small gesture. And I always go back to those freaking donuts can go a long way, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just, you know, thinking about other people. You know what I mean? Thinking about, hey, you're giving an experience, man. Whether that's at the W City Center or you're taking it to Joy District, you know. So, and that's what I feel like, again, it's not about you. So, you know, somebody's hiring you to do an event or whatever it is. It's about, hey, they're putting a trust in you to deliver something that's for them, but all their guests as well.
Yeah. And bro, like there may be other obstacles. Like they could have been like, yo, you can't come here and do that. But like, you know, we you know, you just got to look within yourself and within what you have and what actually you can throw in. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I got this motto from you, bro. Like I always try not to say no. Right. You know what I'm saying? Before I say no, I think about ways to like, maybe I can't get you to a 10, but I can get you to a 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, so I have a challenge that it's not really a climb, but it's more of a situation. And I know I'm going back to the pandemic, but we have to talk about obviously what came out of the pandemic. Like, man, 70% of our business was cut off. Like, no dance floor, no events, no nothing. And like, this was like literally one of our biggest challenges of to date, I think, for our company. Mm-hmm. You know, we say it every day. We don't know if we would be where we're at now in 2023 if it wasn't for the pandemic because of everything we did, all the streaming we did. But man, TDF Mobile, bro, I think that's the heart of being resourceful and innovative solutions, things like that. And that was able to come out of the pandemic of us having like nothing, losing so much. But then now, like, this whole thing kind of births. Yeah. I didn't say that right.
It's all good, man.
It came out of the rhetoric came out, man. Like, and you know, And that came out of a good cause, bro. When you talk about good causes and things like, man, we just wanted to get out and like we were so like stripped of like everything that we knew week in, week
Yeah,
out
because
playing.
we have the power of like bringing a party. So man, real quick. So like that gives me like I wanted to say I give props to like people who are on like like train station or just on the street playing music, bro, because we experienced that during pandemic.
Yeah.
Going to these parks. I remember the first time I tried to play, I was like, yo, I'm mad nervous. Like people think like I'm an idiot or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But like we overcame it and did our thing. But man, just to like give a quick insight, like when we first started like the TDF mobile van, so you and I were in the warehouse and we were like, yo, how can we put speakers in a van?
Yeah.
So but we were like leaning up. Our final idea came from how we were leaning up talking to each other. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah. And for those that the listeners that don't know, like TDF Mobile now is a mobile van that's if you think of a food truck, right? Has the kitchen, has the cookware, like everything inside of it. But TDF Mobile is a DJ truck where it's full on, it powers itself. It has speakers inside of it. It has a LED, not wall, but it's an LED TV, LCD inside of it. And it's just, it can be set up anywhere, anytime. And
5 minutes and we're up and going.
we're up and going. And then that's what the pandemic was about, man. We were just taking our first iteration. I got that from like Elon Musk. Iteration of it was just our van, our work van. We outfitted it with speakers, blah, blah, blah. And we took that around the parks. And then in 2021, we were able to actually produce a big project with it, man. So, man, let's jump into some tips. How about that?
Some tips?
Yeah, let's jump into some tips. Man, I guess let's talk about just planning overall. Like, what are some things that like clients might overlook while they're planning that might make a significant difference in the outcome of the event? Like,
man, I think there's like there's a couple factor in that. You know what I'm saying? You have to set a goal with objectives and have a budget. I think a budget is you got to know where your sweet spot is. You know what I'm saying? You can't come in here and say, yo, I want LED walls, I want all this other stuff, but like you don't have the budget for it. You know what I'm saying? Because like at the end of the day, you're going to be disappointed in what you think you want to have, but you can't have. You know what I'm saying? Another one for me that I have on here as well is like, you got to follow your timeline. You got to know everything that you're doing and using a planner, because like, and one of the biggest tip I will also give to people who are planning events, if it's your event and you have a planner, let the planner and DJ take care of, the segments throughout the night.
Yes.
You just sit back and relax.
Are you saying that people are overlooking or underestimating the value of a planner?
Yes. They're overlooking and underestimating their budget. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So they think you're saying that because they don't have a planner, they're trying to save on budget.
They're trying to save on budget, but like if you don't have a planner, like it now leads to the DJ to be.
Because that's how they used to do it back in the day, bro. Everybody back in the day, 1990, 1980s, the DJ, that's who planned the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm not getting paid extra for this. That was a cheat code, bro.
But man,
what is yours though?
So for I think a lot of people for a wedding underestimate when their actual wedding starts.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks of their start time as, oh yeah, it starts at 5:30 when I actually walk down the aisle, which is not true. No one thinks about the 30 minutes before
as people sit down.
Yeah. That's called your prelude, and they'll be surprised that a lot of like couples don't know about. They be like, "Oh, you gotta play music?" Like, yeah. And I think some effects of that is one, if you give your DJ or whoever your entertainment is the wrong start time, if they're assholes, they're gonna charge you for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you said it started at 5:30. I actually got to start at 5. I got to charge you. So
that's not even like the biggest part, bro. Once you tell them what the start time in, like for us, we probably load in at a certain time. That affects that time as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a person if you may say like, yo, our wedding starts at let's just say a wedding starts at 5:30, but I have a minute to set up that takes 5 minutes. And they get there at 5, and you're like, yo, all our guests has been here waiting, blah, blah, blah. No, lady, you told me 5:30. So you gotta be on it. And a tip to give too is like, hey, here's your load-in time. Here's what time I'll need you to get here to set up. You know what I'm saying? Just because our wedding starts at 5:30, I definitely don't want you to get here at 5. You know what I mean?
And I think a part of that too, I think that's on the service provider to give those times. But just knowing as a client or a couple, like, yo, I need those times. Like, so I know that you understand the time and spacing you need to get ready for an event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean. You know what I mean? I know what you mean.
What about strategies, man? Like, how do you keep people engaged? Like, or what are some things? I guess we throw this out to the DJs, like as a tip, as far as or entertainers. What are some like strategies you have to keep people engaged?
So let's just see. I'll look at it from an entertainment perspective. Like, for instance, this weekend we had one of our DJs who DJ'd his first wedding. Great DJ. One thing you have to do is get everybody's attention, right? Have your audience focused on you. Once you have your audience focused on you, you own the room, right? Once you find a clever way of getting everybody quiet, like, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Can I have your attention in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Everybody like gets quiet and stuff like that. You have them throughout the rest of the night. So my biggest thing is,
I'm about to fight you on that one, bro.
Hey man,
like
what works for me?
You can't be in there treating people like kids now.
what works for me may not work for you, baby.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. I have seen it work.
It didn't work
ain't my
one
style,
time.
You know what I mean?
It didn't work one time, but you already.
And I was like, Seaside. I think I was there when it didn't work.
Nah, you weren't. But when you do stuff like that, you follow it up with something clever and funny.
Okay. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I've thought about doing it, but now I'm like, nah.
It's because you can't pull it off, man. You got that serious face. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So when I do it, I say, yo, that has never worked before. And people clap and laugh. Yo, that's just the Sye Young effect, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Don't try that at home, ladies and gentlemen.
Mine, I think a strategy, it's just more music based. Because obviously, man, like during dinner, that's like when you tend to lose people, especially if the food is running behind or y'all running behind on timeline or the bride or, whoever just goes AWOL. Like, have you ever had that happen? Like, yo, that's crazy, first of all. Like, so you got to make sure my tip is I've started to do more dinner playlists that's just like upbeat, like, but non-danceable music. So a lot of like Kygo, house vibes, like Rufus Du Sol, like things that pumps a little bit more energy in the room instead of like maybe your typical like, Rat Pack or, American classics or things like that.
I don't do none of that shit. For me is I take like popular, like top 40 music that's out right now, like a lot of Drake, and I find like the saxophone or like violin covers of it. And like a lot of these, because what's it, Gen X, whatever.
Gen Z?
It's Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Z, like they like that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, but it's still, there's some good stuff out there, but like some of that stuff is still boring though.
But bro, for me, the ones that I do play is like trap shit that you can't really play. Like it's not suitable for dinner, but because it's in a saxophone version, people are like singing it at their seat. I've literally seen people turn up at their seats because of that.
Now, do you read your crowd like during dinner?
So I read my crowd the moment they start walking in for ceremony because I want to. But what I literally look at is like,
are you reading the crowd? Or are you really saying like how many old people here versus how many young people?
I'm doing both. I'm like, yo, this couple thought.
I do that at dinner. So
this
when
couple be
I
like,
start observing that in dinner, like, okay, let me see. Like, how many older people got here? How many younger people we got here? I do look at the older people during dinner and see, like, who's vibing, like, how's their energy? Because that's going to translate to the dance floor.
Yeah,
You know what I
so
mean?
how I do that is during ceremony, I look if, grandma is like fun or she's just sitting down. Like, I don't know. I just literally start during ceremony. I see how, because like during ceremony, not everybody's sitting down. I can understand everybody sitting down. They're focused at the altar. But as they're walking in, they're talking to people, they're hugging people. I'm just seeing what their vibe is. And that gives me the ultimate key in how we're going to take it tonight.
Yeah. So, obviously, we're not perfect, right? We've been in this game a long time.
I'm whack as ever.
So,
You tell
what
me that
about
shit
like
every day.
hiccups? Like, obviously, I'm sure every wedding hasn't gone like perfect. You've had some hiccups, something that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you overcome that? How do you rise? Do you have like some tips?
Yeah.
Don't chew in the mic.
My bad, brother. I do have some tips.
Come on, man.
I do.
Okay.
Just like Justin Fields, every interception you throw, you just forget it about the next play. You have to. Because if you dwell on it, it's gonna ruin your whole event. You're gonna be thinking about it all day. And I do think about it, but I'm always like thinking like, how can I make this better? You know what I'm saying? Like, it happened to me this weekend, right? Where and I'm not blaming the planner. The planner gave me the timeline. I had the timeline, and I kind of it was printed back and forth, and I took the timeline and I took out the staple, and what I did was I grabbed the wrong sheet of paper, and it said the bride and groom now give their thank you speech, but it was the welcome speech time, and I said bride and groom would like to say a few words. And the groom was like, yo, I thought this was at the end. And his wife was like, yo, no, just do it right now.
Yeah.
And it was a hiccup. And I was like, yo, that's huge. But like, I was like, you know what? For the rest of the night, I'm about to just kill it.
Yeah. And that actually kind of speaks into what I was going to say. And a tip I would give to you is, obviously I've made mistakes before. You just got to own those mistakes like right in the moment. And even apology. Like I would have went over to the bride, hey, I'm so sorry. That was a mistake on my end. People respect that. Like, instead of just maybe washing over it, maybe not pretending like it didn't happen or something like that. You just own a mistake in the moment. You apologize. Or if it's something you said incorrect, I've had times where I've apologized publicly just to the crowd. Like, and people are just like, it's cool, like, you know what I mean, and keep it pushing. So I think that's a tip that I would give. Hey, you just got to own that mistake. Obviously, mistakes happen. And one thing I would say about events, that no event ever goes perfect.
None.
Something's going to happen. Now, obviously, through preparation and the things you do, like, you're going to be able to reduce your mistakes greatly. But, like, hey, things happen. Mental lapses happen. And then the last thing I'm gonna tell you is, dude, just get an iPad. Stop dealing with paper.
The recovery, depending on how you recover, can be way bigger than how the first moment was. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it plays out like that wasn't the right moment, but how you recovered was the best moment.
Agreed.
Like I remember the Kesslers' wedding. Shout out to the Kesslers.
We gotta go on to the next segment.
I know we do, bro. But this is important that we get this through. I asked Sohail to send me his mother and son dance, and he did it like 5 minutes before the wedding started. But what he sent me didn't get downloaded properly.
Oh, I had that before.
You know
for sure.
So like it ended, and I'm like, yo, bro, this is what you gave me,
dude.
But then later on, I played it. I was like, yo, how about this, man? We're gonna do it again. And in the middle of dancing, I stopped and I was like, pull up, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to do this mother and son dance the right way.
And Sye Young, you know what time it is, man?
It's a shake up, bro.
It's the shake up of the week, that brand new segment, man.
Shake, señora. Shake your body right.
So
work. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're getting too excited, man.
I know it's the shake
up, man. But you
man.
should be, because the shake up of the week is the best part of this show, man. For those of you that don't know, Shake Up of the Week, we're going to give you new, innovative ideas, things that you can pull out at your event. Man, just to shake it up, man. Give something different for your guests that they can really, a wow factor, right?
Yeah. Like Mariah Carey said, I'm gonna shake it up. So the shake up of the week is, man, we debuted this week our Nimbus.
Okay.
So what the Nimbus is actually dancing on a cloud. So it's like fog that covers your dance floor. So it really set this new element to your first dance. You know what I mean? It looks great on pictures. It is a wow factor. A wow factor. And guess what, Jem? Where do we have that?
Where?
At the DJ firm.
That's right, man.
We have it at the DJ firm. And another reason why it's a shakeup of the week, because we bought it about a year ago and we literally just learned how to use it. And and that's what's great about us too, man. Like, another reason why this is a shakeup is we tried to, we bought it, but we just didn't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? We had at least 10 different trial and errors. Like, yo, this is how we want it to work. First, it didn't give us the whole cloud effect but then as we trial and error, we figured it out. We finally figured it out, and we finally brought the shakeup last weekend to an event, and it was epic.
That's right, man.
Shake it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Dancing on Clouds it's cool, man. I think it's definitely for certain or select couples who like that kind of stuff. So that's why I feel like it is a shakeup of the week, because it brings a different element for somebody that wants, like, man, I want my first dance to have that pop, right? So,
but like, bro, like, to be honest with you, like, I would love to have that out at my event, bro, because like it let's just say this. The Nimbus and Dancing on Clouds make it comes close to, like, you remember when you're like on spring break and you go to like a foam party? Yeah. It comes close to that, but just you and your significant other. Okay. And it gives you that. But come to think about it, if you go to an event, you can't have like foam, bring the Nimbus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man, it was a great episode, bro. Another fantastic episode. I think we covered a lot of cool things, a lot of cool tips, a lot of stories. I think we got a chance to give the listeners a little bit more insight into who we are, who the DJ firm is. Like I said, we got a whole bunch of like cool episodes coming. Next show, I think we are starting I know we are starting our wedding series. So we got a lot of like dope guests coming through. So
and make sure you tune in, man, because like our main objective is to give you like insights on how to plan your events, from and this is just our opinion from the entertainment aspect of things. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget to like follow us on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe and like all our, platforms and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So until next time, y'all, this is the Event Shakeup. It's your man Jem, got my man Sye Young, and we are the DJ firm. Until next time.
Yeah, and let your creativity juices flow, ladies and gentlemen, because every event can be epic. It's up to you. Let's fucking go.